KUAM News Headlines is presented by Calvo's Insurance, serving Guam for 80 years. Matson and the Adahi Tano program. Cars Plus reminds you to put your phone down while driving. Distractions won't get you there. Heads up, Guam. IP&E Fueling Excellence. McDonald's of Guam, I'm Loving It, and King's Restaurant. Always open, always local, and serving up favorites for over 40 years.
Coming up, we tell you about combating the coronavirus. We give you information as GovGuam prepares for a potential outbreak. Plus, funeral services were held for the Honolulu police officer and daughter of Guam, Tiffany Enriquez. And first, the Hagana, and now the Dedido pool is closed. We've got details from a public health inspection coming right up on Primetime. Half a day, everybody, and good evening. The World Health Organization, in our top story, has declared the coronavirus outbreak in China to be a global health emergency. And the U.S. State Department has raised its travel advisory to the highest level 4 and has issued a do not travel to China warning to Americans. Here at home, the governor hosted a briefing for senators and mayors on the administration's plan to address the virus. Our Nestor Lecanto was there and has this report.
The closed-door briefing was led by public health officials and a CDC representative, and also included key stakeholders from agencies such as Customs and Quarantine, the airport, and visitor industry representatives. Afterward, DPHSS Director Linda DeNorsi explained some of the details of the established protocol for communicable diseases. The first line of defense relies heavily on the airlines informing local authorities about a sick person on board, which activates the territorial epidemiologist.
Upon getting the assessment from the airline, all the information that was given to her through Customs and Quarantine, then she will make that decision to activate the whole public health team with her, which consists of the CDC staff as well as herself and a public health nurse.
The airport will direct the plane to a location away from the terminal. Health personnel will board and take the patient to an isolation room. Some may not exhibit symptoms until after they've cleared the airport. DeNorsi says all passengers will be given information cards informing them of what to do if they become ill.
They have a number to call, our department, and they will have resources also available at the front desk at their hotel of instructions of where they can call. And the beauty about this whole thing is that CDC has notified us that home isolation or any type of isolation is really one of the best methods to prevent the spread.
Public health can also be given the authority to continue to isolate sick patients who would not be allowed to travel home while under treatment.
We will do our due diligence in the Department of Public Health to ensure that the prevention and to control this virus.
And Public Health Medical Director Dr. Jana Manglonia says there's no reason to panic. They are mobilized and have a plan.
We've got a line of defense set up. We're ready for the other shoe to drop. And if we didn't have a perimeter up, there would be reason for concern. But we've got everyone's just braced and ready.
The virus isn't here yet, she says. They intend to keep it that way. For Guam's News Network, I'm Nestor Lecanto.
Now, regardless of where in the world you're watching us tonight, and no matter what type of device you may be using to do so, we've got an interactive way for you to find out how the coronavirus is spreading throughout the globe. Now, right now, you can use your phone and scan the little QR code at the bottom of your screen to see the coverage map of the worldwide coronavirus cases to date. All you want to do is just launch your phone or tablet's camera app and point it at the QR code, and it will launch on your device so you can see where the virus has gone. Well, after that briefing of which we spoke, Vice Speaker Talina Nelson said she has reconsidered her call, seeking to suspend flights from affected countries, including top tourist marks such as Japan and Korea.
I feel confident now that the governor and the public health and all of our government agencies are working together. But it's important that we get this information out to the people, the risks that we face, the preventive measures that we need to put in place. And we have been assured by the Deputy Director and the Director of GIA that they are working closely with the airlines to ensure that there's assessments at the point of origin before they fly into Guam.
Nelson's proposal drew concerns from travel industry officials about the drastic impact it would have on tourism and the thousands of workers who rely on it. GVB Chairman Sonny Atta says what's important right now is that we send the right message to our valued visitors.
Quite frankly, what's going to happen is if this virus gets continue to spread wildly, you're going to have cancellations. And then when cancellations happens, the airlines will decide that we're either going to reduce flights or cancel flights. So the industry will respond accordingly. It's still in the early stages, and we are creating a plan B, an emergency plan, and that's happening the past few days. It's a work in progress because every day the situation is changing. So it's a matter of getting the right information and putting that information together and making sure that Guam is ready should an outbreak or should the virus hit our shores.
Ada continued to tell us that for now, GVB and the industry at large should consider it business as usual. Well, further to this headline, chaos and confusion is what one local physician is predicting if the coronavirus hits Guam because the island's only public hospital is simply not ready. Our next report is with KUAM News' Chris Barnett. Okay, and we are going to have that story short for you, but let's move ahead in our broadcast. As Public Health has indicated that it will begin informational briefings on the coronavirus for all medical facilities and physicians, including those at the Guam Memorial Hospital. Moving on in our rundown at this hour, a sunset tribute is being held for Honolulu Police Department Officer Tiffany Enriquez, the former resident of Guam and a daughter of the island, who was shot fatally when responding to an incident at Diamond Head in Honolulu.
The lawn side of the family has organized a memorial. The Simon Sanchez class of 99, of course, Tiffany graduated class of 99 Sharks. They're going to be out to show support. We also hear there's going to be a resolution presentation from Legislative Speaker Tina Munya Barnes, Ben Deshawn. A very emotional day for the family, of course, capping off the end of this day with a memorial ceremony. But the family turned out and watched Tiffany's funeral in Hawaii, and we have more on that now.
Enriquez, badge number 3367. This is your final recall. Make your final return to headquarters now.
Police officers, other first responders, family and friends lining the streets outside Diamond Head Mortuary in Hawaii today to honor Tiffany. Those who knew her remembered her as being fearless.
Just in the hallways, you hear people talking like, oh yeah, Tiffany, she was awesome. You know, she was a hard worker. You know, I remember this time, I remember that time. Just very well respected. We truly miss her.
Enriquez, a 7-year veteran of the police force and the first female HPD officer to be killed in the line of duty. The funeral service packed to capacity. Many, including media, had to watch from outside. Tiffany's friends and family who attended and spoke at the service described her as funny, driven, and beautiful, both inside and out.
Tiff was always the life of the party, front and center for everything. She was our karaoke queen. She was a goofball as well, always doing stuff to make everyone laugh, even if it wasn't always pleasant or proper.
I'm gonna miss feeling the warmth of your touch when you hold me. Your crazy and contagious laugh. When you would still tuck me into sleep, even at 17, and give me goodnight kisses. But I know that even though physically you won't be here, you will forever be in my heart and always with me.
The Ballon family here sharing fond memories of Tiffany. We've all heard about her brilliant smile, and they say she had an infectious laugh. And that's kind of the theme here, is people remembering the good things about Tiffany, and as well as mourning her tragic loss. So here in Tucumán again for this memorial for the late Tiffany Ballon Enriquez. Back to you in studio. Thank you.
All right, well, as promised, Dr. Vince Hashimoto is describing the situation with the coronavirus as being chaos and confusion, saying if it does in fact hit Guam, Guam's only public hospital, that being GMH, simply is not ready.
Dr. Vince Hashimoto.
I think public health and folks in the community are doing their best to work together, but there's been a lack of coordination, I think, with the majority of the healthcare professionals in the private sector.
At the American Medical Center in Manilao, it's a sign of the times. If you've been in China and have the following symptoms, Don't come in here. Wait in your car and call the number on the flyer, and that's not all the clinic is doing.
So our providers are doing what they need to do. Our nursing staff is making sure we have a 6-week supply of our necessary inventory.
And while Dr. Hashimoto's clinic is preparing, he doesn't believe GMH is even close to being ready to handle a potential outbreak.
If a case comes to Guam, we're going to need better coordination between the clinics and the hospital, and between, realistically, the prioritization of acute care resources. We're going to have limited supplies of IVs, we're going to have limited supplies of oxygen, we're going to have limited supplies of all the different protective devices. And so if we don't work together, there's going to be a lot of chaos and confusion.
Dr. Hashimoto says although public health is doing its job in providing awareness about coronavirus, the Guam Memorial Hospital simply not ready.
We are recklessly behind the curve. We are creating unnecessary danger for our people who get sick and are going to rely on governmental hospital facilities as well as private hospital facilities. We are way behind the curve, and it is criminal. No emergency declaration or emergency legislative session needs to happen for any other reason than the real disaster that is the Guam Memorial Hospital emergency room. You can't get in. So if you have coronavirus, you better order Heineken, because you ain't going to get coronavirus treated at GMH tonight.
For Guam's News Network, Chris Barnett reports.
And in other island news headlines, Department of Corrections Deputy Director Joe Carbolito is replacing outgoing Prison Director Frank Ishizaki. But for the time being, there will be no Deputy Director, according to Adelup Chief of Staff Tony Babauta. Ishizaki, as you know, resigned from his position as DOC Director this week, citing health concerns. He was appointed by the governor in November after former Director Samantha Brennan resigned amidst controversial anonymous letters written by DOC staffers criticizing her leadership style. Carbolito took over Ishizaki's duties at a change of command ceremony this morning at the Manginilao prison. Babauta said the governor's pick for deputy will likely be announced next week. Well, starting February 1st, which is, of course, coming up, you can expect to see about a $20 drop in your monthly power bill. The PUC last night approved GPA's request to lower the levelized energy adjustment clause. PUC Administrative Law Judge Fred Harecki explains what this means for island ratepayers.
The PUC for the next 6-month period reduced the LEAC factor from approximately 15.5 cents per kilowatt hour down to a little under 13.5 cents per kilowatt hour. So almost a 2 cent per kilowatt hour reduction. This should result in an approximate 8% reduction in the total bill that residential ratepayers will pay.
The reduced rate will remain in place until the end of July. Now, with the Hagana pool closed temporarily on Wednesday, Parks and Rec did announce that the Dedido pool would have new hours to accommodate patrons of the pool. However, Thursday afternoon, the doors were closed, leaving many of those who use the pool asking, "What's up?" Jogan Sharfers has more in this report.
Late Thursday afternoon, a frustrated parent who reached out to KUAM said when she took her son to the Dedido pool for his swimming team practice, it was closed. This morning, we stopped by the Dedido pool and the doors were locked. This afternoon, KUAM News obtained an inspection report indicating that the Dedido pool was assessed today by the Department of Public Health and Social Services, Bureau of Inspection and Enforcement, in response to a complaint. According to the report, the pool water is found to be murky and greenish in color. The report also states that Director of Department of Parks and Recreation, Richard Ibanez, noted that the pool was shocked, that is, superchlorinated, Thursday night, and that they plan to vacuum the dirt and debris from the pool, which is why they had closed the Dedido pool to the public. Public Health's acceptable levels of free residual chlorine are between 2.0 to 4.0 parts per million, but not to exceed 5.0 parts per million. The levels for the Dedido pool were 7.5 ppm. The inspection report further states that the backwash controller for the filtration system has been down since April 2018. When the inspector requested maintenance records, the operator said there were none available on site and that he keeps them on a flash drive and will send them to Public Health via email. The Dedido pool will remain closed until approval from Public Health. In the meantime, Senator Kelly Marsh Taitano has scheduled an oversight hearing with DPR for Friday, February 7th at 5:15 p.m. to address long-standing issues and current status of the Hagana pool, which has been closed since January 17th, after results from tests conducted by the Guam Environmental Protection Agency came back with high levels of chlorine and traces of coliform bacteria. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Jonah Goncharfris.
Joan also adds that in light of this information, Senator Regine Bisco-Lee has emailed Senator Kelly Marsh-Titano requesting to amend the hearing agenda to include the discussion on the Dedido pool. And real quickly, the Leon Guerrero administration has submitted a $1.2 billion proposed budget for fiscal year 2021 to the legislature. This reflects gross general fund revenues of more than $824 million, special revenues of more than $251 million, and federal matching funds of $142.5 million. Of that, $125 million will be carved off the top to pay for income tax refunds. GPD has been budgeted $2.3 million more than the current fiscal year, DOC $1.1 million more, and $2 million goes to the Guam Behavioral and Wellness Center. Other provisions in the budget requests include a set-aside of $5 million for the first phase of the revised Competitive Wage Act study, the temporary hiring of retired law enforcement officers, full transfer authority to the governor, and a 2% set-aside of general fund revenues in a rainy day fund as part of the deficit reduction plan. Well, with that, we are going to take our first commercial break. Please stay tuned. Primetime continues after this.
Get up-to-the-minute news, plus access to alerts, streaming radio, promotions, and more on your mobile device by downloading the KUAM News mobile app, available at the App Store now.
Half the day, I'm in the club.
Half a day, welcome to Two Lovers Point.
Half a day, I'm in the club.
We're excited to introduce Cars Plus 2.0 as we celebrate our 20th anniversary. Every moment has led us to push the standards of the automotive experience, from our state-of-the-art facility to world-class products. And now, we're proud to launch Guam's first and only lifetime warranty. Head on down to Cars Plus and ask about our lifetime warranty. We're driven by you and driven to be better.
Half a day, I'm Governor Lou Leon Guerrero. Over the next few months, 2020 Census personnel will be coming to your villages. They will be visiting your homes, collecting information crucial to growing our economy and improving our healthcare, education, public safety, and so much more. Please join me in participating in the 2020 Census of Guam, because together we can shape our future for a brighter tomorrow.
It's a special delivery to your inbox every week with your KUAM News Roundup, program advisories, and promotions. Sign up for the weekly KUAM Digital Digest today on KUAM.com.
49-year-old Robert Leon Baker Jr. has been arrested and charged with criminal sexual conduct. Court documents state that he allegedly assaulted a 15-year-old girl multiple times between October and December of last year. Baker was also arrested in 2012, accused again of first-degree criminal sexual conduct. The alleged victim in that case was 13. KUAM followed up on the status of the 2012 case with the AG's office, neither confirming or denying that the case was expunged. Jarek Arandanas has violated his pretrial release yet again. An officer in Dedido pulled Arandanas over for failing to use his turn signal, and at the time of the stop, he consented to a vehicular search, and the officer found 5 resealable bags with meth and drug paraphernalia. He was taken into custody, admitting to purchasing the drugs and smoking meth before he was pulled over. He also told police the vehicle license plates were not registered and that he does not have a valid driver's license. Arandanas faces possession of drugs as a third-degree felony and vehicle without identification as misdemeanor charges. This is his 7th violation, as he and others were arrested following a drug raid in Dedido last July. Arandanas had entered a plea agreement that sentenced a 2-year probation term. During today's arrest, officers discovered there was an outstanding warrant for the man. To federal court now, Teresa Pareda has pled guilty to various counts of bank fraud. She appeared for a change of plea hearing before Magistrate Judge Joaquin Manabusan. From 2014 to 2019, she committed the felony offense on multiple occasions, as it was stated in court that for each count she faces a maximum of 30 years behind bars. A sentencing hearing is forthcoming, and the government requested a status hearing be set, which was scheduled for court for the end of April. In other news, Daryl Jake Guerrero's detention hearing was continued, allowing for more time for the defendant to secure a third-party custodian. Guerrero was indicted for possession of 50 or more grams of meth with the intent to distribute the substance. The defense asked for the continuation due to complications, and there were no objections. He'll reappear in court at the end of February. Well, Guam's Finest tonight is asking for your help in tracking down a pair of suspects involved in an armed robbery. Around 10 p.m. Wednesday, 4 female tourists were robbed at gunpoint near the Onward Beach Resort on Governor Carlos Camacho Road in Tamuning. Suspects fled in a light-color sedan. The first is around 5'10", weighing 170 pounds, with a dark complexion, and was last seen in a black long-sleeve shirt and dark pants with a black bandana over his head and a red bandana covering his face. The second suspect is between 5'2" and 5'5", weighs about 165, has a dark complexion, and was also in a long-sleeve shirt and black pants with a red bandana covering his face. If you have any information, submit a tip to Guam Crime Stoppers at guam.crimestoppersweb.com. Well, the rewards leading to the arrest of the person or people responsible for hurting and killing pets in recent months has been raised, according to Guam Animals in Need. For the Mauricio pet poisoner, the reward has been doubled since late December and now sits at $4,000. In that case, 20 pets belonging to 3 families on Kineni Road in Mauricio died under suspicious circumstances. The reward for the attacker of Zeus the dog has been tripled and is now $3,000. On January the 14th, the pit bull mix was found drenched with gasoline and was severely beaten outside his home in Swamp Road here in Dededo. Donators who reached out to gain wanting to help catch the perpetrators helped with the bounties. You can remain anonymous, and you can call your tip once again to Guam Crime Stoppers. Their number is 477-HELP. That's 477-4357. Well, volunteers are going across the island for the point-in-time count to find out how many homeless people can be identified within a 24-hour time window. It's an annual event that happens nationwide, and here on Guam, it occurs the last Friday in January. And according to Guam Homeless Coalition chairperson Angelina Lape, this year there are over 300 volunteers that started as early as 4 a.m. this morning. The volunteers gathered the data by conducting a survey that is then analyzed by the coalition members themselves.
It's important because this data is used to help with a lot of planning, not only for the Homeless Coalition, but for the other entities on island as well. And so we share this because it's an island-wide problem that, we can help to educate and inform the public about.
Over the past few years, the count results present that there are over 1,000 homeless individuals on Guam, I should say. As of news time, they've counted more than 500 such people. And from February the 3rd through the 7th, our island is joining in the National Recognition of School Counseling Week. A proclamation was signed by the governor declaring the celebration today.
The journey is just beginning, and there will be more that we can do as school counselors to help out the school community and even our outside community and even the entire world.
There are 150 school counselors in Guam, private, public, and charter schools that work for the well-being of students and their future. And counselors' vital role in the school community will be recognized next week. The Guam Association of School Counselors invites all the public to join in the celebration.
Since GASC is the 52nd division of the National Association, then it's really very meaningful for us because this is a way for us to advocate for our profession and to really become aware that we are with the educational team to support our students.
The theme of National School Counseling Week 2020 is Building Better Humans, as this is what counselors aim to do every day through guidance, explains school counselor Hernalyn Analista.
Students come with complex needs, and so with that, of course, we have to be able to understand how to work with those situations that they present with. And so counselors provide a very big help and even are very impactful in trying to work with these students, because at the end, all these students are we want them to be able to thrive in the school system and in the school environment. When we have school counseling programs and we have counselors who are effective in their roles, then students benefit, the community benefits, because eventually these students become members of the community, and we'd like them to be contributing members of the community.
Well, following the proclamation signing, the governor, along with the Guam Association of School Counselors, announced the Counselor of the Year. And very well-deserved congratulations go out to GASC President Estela Calata. She was commended for all the hard work she does in the community. Congratulations. Good job. Well, stay tuned. Dial Rent-to-Own Athlete of the Week is coming up in sports.
It makes myself and it makes my team members very proud to work for an organization that has been on island for many years with its focus on reliability, dependability, and commitment to the communities that they operate in.
Matson's a great corporate citizen to the community.
We all benefit from any sort of environmental commitment we make. One of the ways that we do that is with our Adahi Utano program. There's action behind it, and so action breeds commitment.
With the Kaimana Hila coming to Guam, this brings a new age and modernization to the island.
It's exciting for me because it's a brand new ship and we can carry more freight into the islands. It just shows growth for Guam and Micronesia.
Matson would be nothing without its customers, and we hope to continue to serve you for decades to come.
Shell's Million Miles giveaway is back, and we're giving 100,000 United Mileage Plus miles to 10 lucky winners. You can jet off to Japan, break away to LA, or even sightsee in Paris. So, how do you make a getaway? Just use your Lucky 7 card when you fuel up with 7 gallons or more, and you're automatically entered to win. Fuel up at your nearest Shell station today and start planning your new adventure. No purchase necessary. Some conditions apply. See store for details.
KUAM Sports is presented by Triple J.
Dave Delgado here for KUAM Sports. Thanks for watching. We're talking about an upcoming mock meet going to be held at the Paradise Fitness Center in Dedido. Mike Scroll from Paradise Fitness, Kayla Anderson, who is the meet director, and Big Tone is going to be the event judge. Now, first off, investing in the gym, you see the powerlifters there, a lot of success, and also investing in your members and getting them the equipment needed to host an event like this.
Yes, of course. The sport of powerlifting has definitely it's been revived, you know, and I think it's through the next generation traveling off island representing Guam. It's really cool to see. And powerlifting's been around for the longest time. You know, those 3 big movements: squat, bench, and deadlift. And these guys could elaborate on it, but it's good to see our member base kind of just have that camaraderie, and it's one of those communities, one of the many communities within our Paradise Fitness platform. And in Dedido, we actually invested in a lot of different equipment. We got platforms up there. We have squat racks up there. We invested in Aleco weights, the calibrated weights that they use at these competitions. So it's been a success to see this transition and movement.
Now, Kayla, talk about how people can register and where can they register for the upcoming competition.
So people can come to Dedido Paradise location and register there. It's $30 for members and $45 for non-members.
Now, how excited are you to see an event like this? I know this is going to be the first of many to come, but and one day, hopefully, Guam can have a sanctioned event.
Yes. So Anthony and I both compete off-island, and it's really hard with travel and expenditures and everything getting there. So that's why we want to bring it here, so that we also see that the powerlifting is growing, especially in our gym. So we want them to get a feel of how it is to actually compete.
And for you, Tone, as a judge, what are you looking for as far as lifts, and what's the setting going to be like for these lifters?
So pretty much we're just there to have fun. It's going to be a mock meet. It's one of Guam's first, or it's actually our first one in Paradise. So everybody's competing just pretty much for fun, to get to know everything. But I'll be looking for, you know, squat, your depth. I'm not going to be too crazy on it. Your bench, just very slight pause. And then deadlift, just a proper knee lockout. But other than that, it's just for everybody to have fun and to experience what we experience when we go off island to compete.
And for each lift, are they going to have 3 attempts? Is it going to be like a
yeah, so pretty much it's going to be a full, what we do, 9 lifts, 3 squats, 3 benches, 3 deadlifts. and whatever, hit your personal records that day and just have fun with it.
And for you, Kayla, putting this thing together with the help of Paradise
Yes,
Fitness.
with the help of Paradise.
Are you just looking to call out more female competitors just to embrace the sport and get involved?
Oh yeah, so far I think we have about 5 female or lifters who've already signed up for it. So I'm excited, and I hope that more will sign up and come out.
And these female lifters, they've pulled some
yeah.
pretty heavy weight.
Yes. Yes.
And for yourself, you said your max on the deadlift was? Throw that number out there.
Oh my gosh, it's only 390. Let's not talk about that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks for coming on the show. That's going to do it for sports. We're back right after this.
Morning, 2 coffees and 4 orders of those new donut sticks.
You must really love these donut sticks.
I do, but they're not for me. They're for them. I will take a coffee, though.
Introducing new cinnamon sugar donut sticks from McCafe, made fresh every morning. It's a little sweet to go with your coffee.
Shop Guam Eve Festival is back with amazing deals. Download the free Shop Guam mobile app on your app store and present the discount code to your favorite Shop Guam vendors. Get access to hundreds of offers, including shopping, dining, and entertainment. Enjoy great deals now until February 10th.
And now, here's tonight's birthday shoutouts. Okay, my friends, the last day of January means you are the first one to get a birthday shoutout from us here at KUAM and Cold Stone Creamery. So here we go. Happy birthday to Winkner Bilan. Wishing you a very happy and blessed birthday. Your family loves you very much. That is your shoutout verbatim, and that's awesome. Also, happy birthday number 10 to Callie Marie Garcia from Mommy, Daddy, and the whole family. They say we love you so much and we wish you well when you compete in the Pan Kids 2020 competition in California. So Callie, you've got the entire island behind you. All of us at KUAM and Cold Stone Creamery, be great and happy birthday. There are a cajillion reasons why you should register with the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club. Not just because it's cool, not just because you're going to make somebody's day brighter than anything else in the world, but because you could also win a Cold Stone Creamery birthday cake. And here is this week's winner. We picked one of them at random. This week's winner is Layla Chovich. Her birthday was yesterday, and we hope Layla and her family have a wonderful, wonderful extended birthday. We'll be in touch and let you know how you can pick up your cake. Congratulations and happy birthday once more. Stay tuned. More is coming up after this.
Closed captioning is brought to you by Green Energy Solutions, Inc. Visit GESIGuam.com or call 647-8111 for more details on how we can help your business save money.
Holiday, everybody. Thanks so much for streaming us or watching on KUAM TV. I'm Jason Salas, and it is now 2020, of course, if, by the way, you have yet to update your calendar. And that means our friends at the census are going to be going around the island, taking information from you, and we are going to make our economy, our way of life, our lifestyles better right here. So I have 3 lovely local ladies that are going to talk to me about the process and actually show you what some of the census... I always get this wrong. Bernie, Tarina, and Bella. Hafaday, welcome.
Hafaday.
But I always get... it's not tabulators, it's not census takers and everything like that. Please correct me because I'm a moron.
Enumerators.
Enumerator. Thank you very much. Okay, and that is kind of the point because this is a huge year for you and your team, Bernie. So, how are you getting ready for this?
Well, actually, we're going to be ready in Super Bowl Monday. We're going to have our team come out, and we're going to have the enumerators go out and do what is called the address listing. So we're very excited about that. We've got our supervisors, all the enumerators out there, ready to rock and roll. So, in fact, we want to show the audience exactly what to expect with the enumerators when they're out in the field and when they're out and about in the community.
Bella is making her broadcast debut and like a literal model. So this is actually
uniform per se of what people are going to be wearing.
Yes.
Correct.
So every enumerator that will go out for the 2020 Census of Guam will be decked out with 2 official government badges with their 2020 with their Census Bureau lanyard. They will have 1 safety vest with the logo on the right pocket, and then also 1 Census Bureau provided tote bag.
Very nice.
So Bella here.
Bella, you are all geared up.
Ready to go.
All right, I'm loving it. And you know, I've talked to several people that have gotten involved, and the last time you guys were here, we were having a really good discussion about how people could volunteer, could possibly like join the team and help out, because there are a lot of Guamanians that really want to see this be the best it can be, because they know it benefits us in the end.
Right, right. So we've actually almost completed our hiring process at this time.
Correct. We're still hiring. I mean, passively hiring, but again, we've hired over hundreds and hundreds of individuals, from enumerators to crew leaders, crew leader assistants, and then. But again, these folks are the field activity folks that go out in the field, just like Bella would be, and dressed up nicely appropriated, and so they're all ready.
Okay, now you know how we do things here on the island. It's all about hospitality. We're one big family. We want to make sure everybody is kept informed and feel welcome. So if we see the enumerators walking around and we have like a general question, are we able to approach them and ask something? If we have, like, say, hey, you look like you might be a little bit thirsty, here's some bottled water, here's a cookie, here's some Nutter Butters that you
So yes, you can ask, you can stop and speak to our enumerators. I will say, though, that the work that they're doing, even during address listing, is confidential, so they won't be able to tell you anything more than they are working for the 2020 Census of Guam.
Okay.
However, if somebody would like to give them a bottle of water or a glass of calamansi juice, that's totally acceptable.
Oh.
Coconut water, too?
Yeah.
Coconut water and empanada goes great at like 2 in the afternoon. Yes. Okay, so if people might walk up to them and say, you know, will you guys be coming to my neighborhood? They won't necessarily be able to get into great detail about that, right?
So what they're able to share is that right now they are in the neighborhood just doing what we call address listing, which is the first step. However, in March, they'll come back and do the in-person interviews.
Okay.
But they will carry with them a confidentiality notice even during this address listing phase, so that people understand that even this part is Title 13 bound, which is confidential for life.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and then for people that missed the first couple of interviews, Bernie, explain like what the census and what the data, once it's gathered and compiled and analyzed and everything like that, how really does this come back and make our way of life as Guamanians better?
Truly, I mean, for all the data that is collected, I mean, it's going to help out the economy, it's going to help out through schools, how much of the piece of the pie is going to come to Guam. So, you know, again, the data it's extremely important that, again, when the enumerators go out there, they collect
They go out there, and when they get the responses from the community, what it does is it gives the information back to the decision makers. So, for example, if we're talking about our children, right, everybody wants to make sure that our children have the services they need, including areas to play. So the census data gives the decision makers that information. They give like an age breakdown, they give an economic breakdown, so that they know what a family can afford, and maybe they aren't in a neighborhood or in a village that actually has playgrounds. So they use the data for situations like that. It's very important.
Yeah, and also like nonprofits use the data. They want to know, again, the total population count. I mean, simply that's the primary information that a lot of folks are wanting to know.
Okay.
Right, the growth from 2010 to 2020.
Okay, and ladies, please continue to have that discussion, but I want to shine the light on Bella again, because if people may be swiping through this on Facebook right now as we're speaking, this is, if you're just joining us right now, this is the uniform that the census enumerators will be donning as they make their way like around the island. Bella is basically a very, very lovely model.
Yes.
Go with it, feel it.
Yes.
Become the vest.
Yeah, so they'll have the bag. You'll see them carrying around the bag. Also, they'll be wearing the yellow vest with the logo, and then also identifiers with the two IDs.
And again, the nature of the question for people who have never participated in a census before, for whatever reason, they're not going to probe too deep into personal information or things other than, you know, like spending habits, you know.
So
perhaps.
we don't get into spending habits, but we are asking basic demographic and housing and social characteristic questions. So
you're not going into possible criminal record or
no, not at all. Nothing criminal. We don't ask for social security information or
Okay.
banking information, and everything that you tell us is bound by confidentiality. So the information is not even shared with other government agencies. It's only for statistical purposes.
Okay, and how long will it take before we can actually really start to see the fruits of this labor? Because I know this may go directly.
Yeah, that's more of the U.S.
I feel like I knew she was going to send that over to me. So we're looking forward to.
So on behalf of Uncle Sam.
On the U.S.
We are looking to release the population numbers in summer of 2021. And
Okay,
that'll be
wow.
the first set of information that'll come out.
Okay, I wasn't aware that they can actually turn it around that quickly.
Yes.
Yeah, the internet's a wonderful thing.
And they come out through data products, is what it's
Right.
called.
So what we have, the population count will be the very first thing that comes out, but there'll be other statistics that come out later through the process. But population, 2021 summer.
And for most of us Guamanians, you know, we're used to a nice round number. We have 160,000 people here. We're greatly anticipating what that number will be. So, ladies, we know you have a lot of work ahead of you, but what I can see from all of the smiles and so many wonderful teeth and so much positivity over here, it's going to be a wonderful process.
Yes, it
so,
is.
so please come back anytime because
Thank you.
we'd love to find out how
Thank
it's going.
you. Thank
All
you
right.
so much.
All
All
right.
right.
All right.
Please stay tuned because we are back right after this.